Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk Politics via the World Wide Web, coming live and direct from the islands of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Let me take this time to welcome my viewers, first of all, in Grand Turk, here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, in South Caicos, who's watching this show, and indeed in Providenciales, North Caicos, Salt Key, and Middle Caicos. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome the viewers from around the world, especially Turks Islanders who will be viewing this show on the internet in the Bahamas, indeed in the United States, in London, in Canada, and indeed in the rest of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, for the last few weeks, Let's Talk Politics has been off the airwaves here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and as we seek to continue in the People's Democratic, elated this evening to have as my guest on this first live broadcast Let's Talk Politics show globally is the official leader of the opposition, the People's Democratic Movement, the Honorable Eric Floyd Seymour. Good night, Honorable Seymour. Welcome to Let's Talk Politics.
Good evening, Mr. Malcolm, man. It's good to see that sometimes what people...
Well, Honorable Leader, freedom of speech and freedom of democracy is a serious thing in this global village that we are living in. And so let me take this opportunity to ask you to greet those Turks Islanders all around the world, especially,
and to ensure that you always have access to your representatives, where we will always find a way to be in touch with you. So to all of you, Turks and Caicos Islanders and persons of Turks and Caicos descent that are watching this show from the four corners of the world, whether you be in the eastern or western hemisphere, wherever you may be, we want you to know that we remain your humble servants, ready to build a country that you and your descendants can always be proud of.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Leader. As you know, it has been almost 9 weeks since you were supposed to be on this show, and because we were off the airwaves, I take this opportunity to welcome you again, and so that we can sit down and discuss these major issues that is facing the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands and indeed this great country. And Mr. Leader, one of those issues that is facing us and that is very much alive here in the Turks and Caicos Islands regionally and internationally is the ongoing inquiry that the Foreign Affairs Committee in the United Kingdom and the British Overseas Territory, as we are a British Overseas Territory, that is ongoing. Can you enlighten us as to what is the FAC and what it's all about, Mr. Leader?
Thank you very much. The Foreign Affairs Committee is a subcommittee of the House of Commons in the U.S. And just as you have in this country, where we have committees of the House such as the Expenditure and Public Accounts and Administration Committee and all those committees that are made up of parliamentarians that act as a check on the executive. The Foreign Affairs Committee is a similar committee that's made up of members of the House of Commons in the United Kingdom. This committee, their mandate, as their name suggests, is to review the ongoing activities for foreign affairs in the United Kingdom. Right now, the committee's current mandate is completing a review of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office and its activities, which extends to include the overseas territories of the United Kingdom. If you were to go to their website, we'd hope to have that site up for you at the bottom of the screen shortly. You can go to their website and you would see all of their information in terms of their mandate, how you can get in touch with them, and what they expect from you, because they're encouraging everyone to submit written submissions and to give them any information that will be helpful in the conduct of their business. Their mandate, if you look at their website, includes 9 areas. The first of which is standards of governance in the overseas territories. That's the first objective of what they're looking at. They're also looking at the role of governors and other office holders that have been appointed by HMG. In our context, while judges and the Chief Justice is now appointed by the Judicial Services Commission, those are persons that have traditionally been appointed by HMG. So is the Attorney General and the Chief Auditor. So they're looking into the activities of the governors and the Attorney Generals and all of those that have been appointed by HMG. So if you have any information on anything good, bad, or indifferent that you believe that it's important for this committee to take note of, that we encourage you to write to them. They're looking at the work of the consultative committees. They're also looking at transparency and accountability in the overseas territories. They're going to be looking at regulation of the financial services industry in all of the overseas territories, the procedures, and to ensure that they're able to focus their attention on those areas. They're also looking into the relationship between overseas territories and HMG. And so it's a pretty wide mandate and pretty broad for every citizen of the country, every overseas territory citizen, every one that has an interest in the overseas territories, in particular, in our case, the Turks and Caicos Islands, to be involved in the process. We've always been a people that have sat back and we've sat in the bar rooms or in the church halls or in our own little offices or in our own little comfort space and complained about what was going on, what we thought, simply logging on to the FAC's website and giving your written submissions as well. We're also encouraging that the FAC to visit the Turks and Caicos Islands. And just coming out of that, I mean, we just recently had a meeting with the chairman and members of the Foreign Affairs Committee. The opposition took a delegation and met with the Foreign Affairs Committee, and coming out of that, the deadline for these submissions were actually the middle of October. There were a number of persons that had approached me, and they had said that they wanted to make submissions but had not had an opportunity to do so. We are not going to tell you what to say and how to say it. Right. All we want to do is to create an opportunity for you as a citizen to be able to communicate and to be able to be a part of this process. We've created that opportunity. You now have until the end of January to make those submissions. We've also encouraged the committee that during their review that they physically visit the Turks and Caicos Islands and